I love it in comparison to the diesels. Smooth, quiet, really great features on these EVs in regards to making it driving more and more better experience. I like the pickup. It's a nice pickup, and it's a very consistent pickup rather than a chunky, winded up type that the diesel seemed to have. Yeah.
I'm Andrew Johnstone, and that is the sound of an electric bus. In early April, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed when I came across a post from the Waipa District Council announcing that a brand new fleet of electric buses would soon be plying the routes between Te Awamutu, Cambridge and Kirikiriroa, Hamilton. My excitement and enthusiasm was tempered when I began reading the comments thread, which, as it turned out, was a litany of negativity. Comments like, "It's woke nonsense. These buses catch fire all the time and kill people. They'll be charging them with petrol generators on the side of the road." Things like that. Of course, what I was seeing is the same kind of reactionary response that comes with any kind of change, and as it is in the era of social media, a certain type of person tends to dominate the discussion. Nevertheless, it required further investigation, and after reading extensively on EVs, I decided to devote my May Waikato Times column to the subject. My conclusion? It's here, it's evolving fast, it's the future, and it's wonderful. And as I dashed off the last sentence, I realised that I'd never travelled in an electric vehicle. So here I am.
Really excited to bring EVs into Waipa. It's the second lot of EVs that we brought into the Waikato region. Our first bus that we brought in down in Taupo, that was launched in December early last year, and now this year we brought in April, we bought 6 new single-deck EVs here to the Waipa region, and looking forward to bringing in 2 double-decker EVs later in the year.
Double-decker EVs?
Yeah.
For the commuter route?
Yeah, so one bus will be based out of Te Awamutu and one out of Cambridge, and that's just to support the increase in patronage that we're seeing on the network to do that, and also future-proof the network as well, so when we see more people using the network, that we've got the capacity to allow that.
So the social media negativity aside, how is the general public, the bus-using public, responding to the EV buses?
Really positive. You know, we've had drivers who have come from us from other regions, and they're saying the feedback they're receiving in relation from members who have used the bus and community members is really positive. You know, they really enjoy the ride. It's quiet. You know, you can hear everything. It's really positive. The drivers are enjoying driving them. It's a different experience from having a diesel engine, but yeah, no, they really are enjoying it.
When I was writing my Waikato Times piece, I popped into town to do some shopping at New World, just around the corner, where there's a bus stop.
Yeah.
And just as I was crossing the road, the EV bus came around the corner, and I didn't hear it.
Yes.
And I heard nothing, just the sound of the tyres on the road.
Yeah.
And no belching fumes.
No.
Gear changes and big roaring engines, and it was bloody wonderful.
Yeah. No, it's also part of Transit's model that they're wanting to do is, you know, low emissions transport, sustainable transport options, and EV is one of those areas that we've identified as an opportunity for us to ensure that we're able to deliver low emissions transport solutions for New Zealand. Yeah.
I'm wondering about the cost. I mean, running a diesel engine bus, you've got to have mechanics to maintain the engines. There's a lot of moving parts to look after. I'm just guessing that an EV bus is a simpler affair.
Yeah. So it's sort of, you know, we're changing the idea from mechanics to sort of engineers now, because electrical in the back, so you've got our mechanics. I think we've got 5 in our transit team, group workshop team, that have been certified for an electrical engineering qualifications to ensure that they're able to service the bus, but also we're working with the builder and China Rail to ensure that the vehicles are maintained and able to deliver the services that they can. You know, this is probably one of the bigger networks that we've seen across New Zealand for a urban network. We're looking at about 2,500 kilometres a week, which is really it's a lot. It's big urban network, big kilometres. So we had to design a bus that was capable of rolling, you know, that amount of distance in a day. So we've probably got the biggest battery packs at the moment in those buses, around 500 odd kilowatts. We give us about 460 odd kilometres a day. Yeah.
So one battery will run the bus for its daily work?
Roughly, with some charges. So the way that we've designed the network in relation to with WRC is that all our breaks are held back at the depots. So while our drivers have their mandatory half-hour break or a little bit longer, they can put the bus on charge and it recharges the battery, just to give it that extra bit. Because as we find in winter, the buses draw down a little bit more power because you've got aircon working, demisters, window wipers, you know, particularly in Waikato with the fog.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So just finding a little bit more power is drawn from the battery compared to our summer months.
And you did say in Wellington, where you're running EV buses, you've actually got buses with battery packs that can be taken off and replaced very.
No, so it's all in one area, but it's just a quick charger. So
Right.
pentagraph type charger. So it's all contained in one unit. Basically, it sort of pulls out, something drops down, connects up like a plug, and then charges the battery up in about 15 minutes, and then sends the bus out. So that was sort of our first generation.
Is that all it takes, 15 minutes?
Yeah, in that type of environment, yeah, for that bus, yeah. Slightly smaller battery capacity than what we're seeing here, but as technology improves, we're finding that batteries you're getting more power out of a smaller battery versus the first, when we bought the first ones in 2016, we had quite a big battery pack.
Right.
But that was heavy, required, probably didn't deliver the same amount of Ks that we're seeing now with this iteration of these vehicles that we're seeing in Waipa, yeah.
And that's one of the things we're seeing with EV, that battery technology is evolving
Yes.
super fast.
Yeah.
And in fact, in 5 years' time, it's going to be completely different to what we've got now.
Yeah, you know, it's a sort of similar thing to think if you thought about a computer, you know. Back in the day, you used to have a big computer that was the size of a room, and now you can, you know, basically a cell phone's a computer now that's quicker than anything we've ever got. So, you know, that's the same thing we're seeing with battery technology.
And one of the things I've seen a lot on social media is that EV buses are dangerous. They catch fire all the time. Now, statistically, EV buses are less likely to catch fire than a fossil fuel standard diesel engine bus.
Yeah.
But the buses actually come with all kinds of safety systems, don't they?
So we've gone to the leading manufacturer around battery, and that's based in China. I don't quite remember what they are off the hand, but they are leading battery safety technology. The buses have fire suppressant systems in them. You know, we've had nothing catch on fire, no burns or anything like that. So,
And I believe there's systems on the bus that alerts the driver for potential problems like overheating.
Yep.
So even long before anything might happen,
yes,
the bus itself will say there's a problem.
Yeah. So the bus is like a big computer as itself. It's
Yeah.
got its own, you know, memory and its own drive in there that it can work out what it needs to do to ensure that everyone's safe on board. Yeah.
What's the cost of an EV bus compared to a diesel bus?
So overall, as you know, anything with new technology, it's going to be slightly a higher price point compared to your combustion engine. But as you see more and more developed, you know, economies of scale are going to start seeing that come down a little bit more. You know, so this vehicle that's just pulling in now, this is one of the EVs that we're operating here in Waipa. You know, we're probably looking maybe over $500,000 here for this, for a vehicle of this nature. We've got 43 of these vehicles, slightly smaller, running in our Manawatu Palmerston North contract. That's the first contract in New Zealand that's gone completely full EV. The full network is EV down there. So yeah, and having a really good success rate down there. Yeah.
And of course, they might cost a bit more, but the running costs are lower.
Yes. Yeah. So we're finding, you know, we're not having to pay for diesel, or at this moment we're not paying for road users. That's going to change. I think next year road user changes. But we're finding that you know, the running costs are a lot lower with this. You know, the wheels are lasting longer. You've got regenerative braking, so you've got battery recharging as you brake. But also you're finding that the wheels, with the engine itself and the regenerative braking, you're not actually having to apply the braking as hard. So you're not having less wear and tear.
We better get on.
Yeah, we get on. We've got to keep to schedule.
Yeah. Hi, Sandy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really good. I know we don't want to hold the proceedings up, but do you enjoy driving an electric bus?
I love it. Never used to. And I thought about it, but then when I got in, I was evicted.
What's the best thing about it?
Quiet, and it goes smooth, and the passengers love it.
And this is my first time on an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, so you wouldn't notice how quiet it was to just pull away. You had that natural whining of the engine as it, brings the wheels up to speed.
You can feel the torque.
Yeah,
It's pulling you back.
yeah. So in working with WRC or partnering with WRC, so the biggest thing that we're finding, we're a public transport network, so ensuring that we stick to our times to ensure that we have a reliable service for the community is really important for us. So our team, we work with our team in making sure that we're, adhering to timing points and so then the members of the community, where they catch the bus, they know that the bus can be reliable and where it is. Very lucky with the ticketing software that we've got on the bus, that community can download the Transit app, not Transit with a Z, but Transit with an S, to log in and check where the buses are and how they're operating to ensure that they're able to, if they're running a little bit late, that they can still get their coffee before they get on the bus.
So New Zealand really, well, this part of the country, Wellington's a slightly different story, but this part of the country, we don't have a huge history of public transport usage.
Yep.
It's a rural district, but of course Cambridge and Te Awamutu, Waipa district's becoming increasingly urbanised.
Yes.
And just an adjunct to Hamilton, really.
Yep.
So I'm presuming that the uptake of public transport's increasing?
Yeah, so we're able to see, we've even noticed that even with this service here, we've increased the frequency based on what from last year. The increase, I think we've gone from 9 services a day to about 19. Now that's backwards and forwards, that's including the 19. So we've got more services operating on the network, which is cool, and it's allowed more flexibility or more opportunity for people to get into town if they're a commuter or they are requiring to go in for school or work or pleasure. Then there's more opportunity for that. Also, we've got later services during the week where we're still operating at about 9:30 to 10 o'clock at night. So people are able to travel in from Cambridge or Te Awamutu if they want to go have dinner after work. Then they can have dinner, maybe have a wine or a beer, and then come back out and still get home without having to drive in and worry about that. Yeah.
And I understand the service has become so popular that you're having to increase your weekend runs.
Yeah, so as part of the new changes from last year, we have increased the amount of frequency that is working on the weekends, which is really pleasing. It's giving those people an opportunity to get into town, because they're those people who don't have cars, and versus your cost of living, it's cheaper to probably get in the car or get in the bus, travel into town. You don't have to worry about parking. The bus goes straight into the transport centre. And then you're able to interchange with the other network within Hamilton, whether that's out to the base or over towards the Tahuia, or any other parts of Hamilton that you may be willing to go to. Yeah.
Now I did some sums the other day, so I go into Hamilton 2 or 3 times a week for work. I run a diesel SUV.
Yep.
And it's costing me $12, because I live slightly out of Cambridge.
Yes.
in a rural area on a farm.
Yep.
It's costing me $12 to go to Hamilton and back. And of course the cost, if I took the bus, the central bus depot was right near to where I go.
Yes.
It would cost me pennies.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Yep.
So I'm beginning to think I need to rethink how I commute to Hamilton.
Yeah. So you'll also find as well, if you're using the B card, there's a fare structure system that gets capped after a while. So you'll find that, if you travel the bus 4 days a week and you travel on that Friday, you might find that your transport is free depending on the cap value that has there. And that's all available on the Busset website around how the fare capping structure works here. Travelling in here to the velodrome. So what we also find is this bus here, the buses here on the network, they've also got bike racks. So potentially there's an opportunity where you can sort of cycle out here, and if you don't want to cycle back into Hamilton, you're actually able to have a drink here at the velodrome and then put your bus on the bike rack and carry back into Hamilton.
Who are your main passengers on this route? Is it kids going to school?
It's a mixture of everything, really, depending on the time of the day. You've got your commuters in the morning, you'll have your school kids around 9 o'clock. We've got buses commuters that go both ways. So in Te Awamutu, we've got a service, the school support service, that goes into Hamilton Boys and Southall. That comes out of Te Awamutu. We've got a bus here, the bus that goes in towards the central CBD district in Hamilton. So that's close to Hamilton Girls and any schools around that area. But they can interchange with buses there to get out to where they need to. Also in the morning, we've got the Cambridge bus links back out towards Cambridge High, does a loop, comes in from Hamilton and loops out towards Cambridge High, dropping students off there, and in the afternoon it does the same thing, goes through, picks up kids from Cambridge High and links them back. So yeah.
Of course, the important question now is, do these buses have Wi-Fi?
Yes, yep, they've got Wi-Fi, they've got chargers, so you can plug your USB chargers in there, so you're able to charge on the bus. Yeah, opportunity.
How many people work for Transit New Zealand?
So about 2,000 plus, I think. I think we're at probably 2,500 actually. 2,500 people across the country. You know, we're the largest family-run transport country in New Zealand. So next year we're approaching 100 years of transport operation in New Zealand. So we started in Wairarapa back in 1925. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. It has grown. You know, typical New Zealand company, quiet achiever. You know, we like to hang our hat on what we're actually able to deliver, and it's really cool. You know, having great partnerships across the country. You know, with Waikato Regional Council and Waipa District Council here, which is really pleasing to see. You know, we're supporting their transport network plan of having EVs and a sustainable transport network, and so we're pleased to come to the party and provide our expertise when it comes to vehicle development and working with council around making sure that we can deliver an efficient network for all the community to use. You know.
Hi, I'm Sandy Nicholson and I'm from Hamilton. I've been driving buses for about 40 years, not here but around the districts and a little bit out of town. I've done a bit of long haul and I love it, and I love my passengers, so I have got a really good life outside of home, so I'm quite a happy person. So yeah, it's a fun job, so long as you use all the safety rules and you look after your passengers. So I just love it anyway. It's my life, my heart. I've got truck driving experience, you know, taxi, whatever. But this is just the bomb. This is it's a good thing. It's quiet, no oil. You check everything. It goes really smooth, and it does the speed, you know, that you need. It keeps the power. It's perfect, and it's safer. I find it very, very good, and my passengers love it.
Well, when you say safer, what do you mean?
It just feels safer because you haven't got, you know, the issues with breakdowns and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a nice chunky vehicle with a nice quiet, like I should be quiet.
So
Yeah, no,
you feel quite secure here?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
I'm not got those fears that I had,
Yes.
because it is a safe vehicle.
Yes. I'm just talking to Sarah, one of the passengers, and she was just saying how thrilled she is with the frequency of the services of the last few months.
Yeah, so no, full credit has to probably go, we'll have to go to WRC, Waikato Regional Council, as well as Waipa District Council around increasing the frequency of the network here. You know, public transport is one of those things where it's a little bit of like field of dreams, build it and they will come. So, you know, if you're going to put more frequency on, hopefully that increases the environment so people are more wanting to catch public transport. You know, you can do polls and, you know, go to the community and ask what they are wanting, but, you know, unless they actually see that bus going past their house in a frequent way, then they're going to be able to catch it.